My fiancé said another woman's name in his wedding vows, standing 6 feet from me, in front of both our families. The room didn't gasp. It froze like everyone stopped breathing at once. I didn't cry or interrupt him. I just stared at the small crease in his suit jacket and waited for him to realize what he'd done. He didn't. He kept going, voice steady, hands warm in mine, saying words about forever that suddenly felt rented. And I remember noticing the clock above the back doors of the Lakeshore Hall ticking louder than it should have. Someone in the front row shifted. The officiant cleared his throat, and there was a pause that stretched just long enough for people to look at each other without turning their heads. Later, when the music finally started and we walked back down the aisle, he leaned in and whispered that it was nerves, that I was reading into it, that anyone could slip up under pressure. And I nodded because the alternative felt too public to survive. In the weeks before, I'd already been shrinking things for us without naming it, passing on a job transfer to West Haven because it would have complicated planning, covering deposits, telling friends we were just stressed, not disconnected. The first time I asked about her name, he smiled like I'd accused the weather, said she was just a colleague, said I was sensitive, said weddings scramble people's brains, and I hated how reasonable it sounded. The micro moments stacked anyway. A text he muted when I walked in, a laugh I'd never heard aimed at his phone, a story he told me that he later told again with details shifted like it had been practiced elsewhere. At a small dinner our families hosted to reset the day, his sister mentioned how comforting it must be to work so closely with someone who really understands him. And she used her name the same way he had, casually, familiarly, and the table went quiet in that polite way that pretends nothing happened. That's when it landed that the name mattered, because it wasn't a mistake. It was muscle memory, an identity he'd been rehearsing in private while I was rearranging my life in public. There was no shouting, no scene. The truth surfaced because it had already been living out loud. I stood, thanked everyone for coming, and said I needed air, and the relief came from choosing clarity over choreography. People followed later with gentle looks and folded hands, not to gossip, but to confirm what they'd all felt. And I realized dignity doesn't need volume. Months after, I saw her across a cafe window, laughing easily, and I felt a strange gratitude that the lie broke before it became a lifetime. I'm still curious what people believe matters more, the vows we say under lights, or the names our minds return to when no one's watching.